I'm Zach Lindell, and I'm a sophomore government and politics major at UMD.
I'm Stephanie Salazar, and I'm a sophomore bio and psych major.
Molly Fink, I'm a freshman psychology major.
Beaver, and I'm a sophomore communication major.
My name is Michael Jimenez, and I'm a senior criminal justice major.
And I'm Amaka Okeke, a sophomore public health science major.
As a group consisting of both men and women, we each see how the gender gap affects us differently. As young adults who will soon be entering the workforce, the wage gap is something that will impact all of us. As college students, we are constantly thinking about what our jobs and salaries will be post-graduation. The fact that female college students need to consider that their salaries may be less than their male coworkers is an issue that needs to be discussed and solved.
As a female going into the business world, I knew that, based on articles and stuff, that women get paid 3/4 of what men get paid. And then doing further research into it, I found that the wage gap sort of perpetuates poverty in single mothers because they make less and all that. And then that kind of piqued my interest because ever since I was 11 or 12, I've been working in a homeless shelter in New Jersey for single mothers and their kids. And so the whole topic in itself kind of hit home for me because I'm a woman working in a business male-dominated field, and also because I work with these single mothers who are stuck in poverty.
The fact of the matter is that women earn 79 cents for every dollar made by men. Over the course of our research, we have found that there are many different viewpoints on the topic of this gender wage gap, which aid into the reason this issue is rarely brought up and combated. While some people argue that the wage gap is a statistic that has been brought about by skewed numbers and data in order to push a feminist agenda, the reality is a world in which women enter the workforce at a distinct disadvantage in comparison to men. In researching the issue of the wage gap, we tried to select sources that included diverse perspectives. We included sources covering both sides of the issue, how the media portrays the issue, and individuals who have both done work on and been affected by the issue. The issue of the wage gap is often broadcasted in media. For example, female soccer player Abby Wambach discusses in an interview that she feels it is unfair that she has won more World Cups than Cristiano Ronaldo, and still somehow has to worry about her bills and what she is going to do after she is done playing soccer, while he has the ability to live comfortably without working after his career is over.
The final for the Women's World Cup was the most watched soccer match in the United States of any soccer match ever. This is more than any men's match, more than the NBA Finals, more than the NHL Finals. Yet, your entire team was paid $2 million for winning the World Cup. The men's German team that won the Men's World Cup the year before made $35 million. Just to give a little bit more about this pay gap, the total payout for women who won the World Cup was $15 million. The total payout for men, $576 million. Did you have any idea how big the pay gap was?
Yeah. It's my life. I've been living it for 30 years. I've been playing the game, and just recently announced my retirement. Come in a couple weeks. And the minute I announced my retirement, I started to really reflect on my career and everything, and I started to get pissed because I look to my counterparts across the aisle and I go, resumes aside, if, talking about Ronaldo and the Messis and Landon Donovans, they get to walk away from their sport battered and bruised, and not have to worry about what am I going to do next.
Additionally, Secret Deodorant has publicly addressed their stance on the issue of the wage gap through their commercials and marketing campaigns through pairing the use of deodorant with stressful situations.
Mr. Kendall, I need to ask you a favor. Not really a favor, just Mr. Kendall, I worked on the Padstow team, actually, and we won the business. Just helped. Okay, Lucy. Casual. Bobby, How's it going? You're looking great. That tie is super sick. You know, Todd makes more than I do, and he's only worked here for 2 years. You know, I'm also a really great leader. Really have things...
Do it. Secret, stress tested for women.
The commercial shows that women often feel nervous and stressed to negotiate for a higher salary, which perpetuates the continuation of the wage gap. We chose to interview UMD faculty member Alin Powell because she works at the Career Center, so she has firsthand knowledge and experience with the wage gap. She also holds workshops to help women in the workforce negotiate their pay.
How do you think we could end the wage gap?
So much. So I think awareness is a huge piece. For me, in my work, both here at Maryland and kind of personally, I do a lot of salary negotiation training. I think it's so important, particularly for women, to know how to ask for more.
Yeah.
To just see negotiation as part of the offer process. It's not a bad thing. If people say no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to ensure that you're starting at a level playing field. You know, a lot of the research talks about 1 year post-college, men and women, there's already a 7% kind of gap in wage. We went to the same school, we have the same major, and you're already making 7% more than I am. Think about that over a lifetime and how much, as women, we're often missing out on. One, because we're not taught to ask, and two, we're afraid to, and we don't know how to do that well. So I think that helps as well. Public policy is really important, right? It feels like such a big topic and issue. Again, public policy is so important, but I think if we only look large scale, it can become overwhelming, and it feels like something we can't tackle.
Possible solutions that can be implemented can be as simple as teaching women how to negotiate their salary. Other countries are taking bigger steps. For example, Iceland plans on becoming one of the first countries to require equal pay on a national level. This law would apply to all companies with more than 25 employees. This act itself can and will encourage other countries to follow in the same steps. Another bill that addresses the wage gap is the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which was signed by John F. Kennedy as a part of his New Frontier program. However, it hasn't really been updated much since 1963. In the United States, policymakers have proposed the Paycheck Fairness Act, which punishes employers for retaliating against workers who share wage information, puts the justification burden on employers as to why someone is paid less, and allows workers to sue for punitive damages of wage discrimination. The House of Representatives approved this bill in 2009, but the United States Senate failed to move the bill forward in November 2010. The bill was reintroduced to Congress in April 2011, but again, it failed to gain the required number of votes. However, certain states, such as California and Massachusetts, have implemented the Paycheck Fairness Act so that people cannot ask interviewees to disclose previous wage information, making employers propose a wage that is fair and deserved as opposed to being based on what a person has made in the past. Wage gap proponents say that in any given field, men still make more money than women. This is true. However, skeptics say we must take other factors into account. A 2009 paper released by the Department of Labor concluded that the gender wage gap was almost entirely the result of personal choices made by male and female workers. It found that when you take into account all of the factors previously discussed, the pay gap shrinks to about 6.6 cents. They admitted that no one knows why this 6.6 gap remains, as there are so many factors that influence wages, no single study can cover them all. One reason could be that women tend to gravitate towards more lower-paying fields. Men are more likely to go into higher-paying specialties. Women are also more likely to work part-time. Even women who work full-time, on average, still work 7% fewer hours per week than their male counterparts. Women are also more likely to take long leaves of absence, presumably to start a family. Despite what these critics may say about personal choices that men and women make being a reason for people to be skeptical about the validity of the wage gap, these personal choices reflect how society tries to confine women to specific careers that reflect gender roles. There are many ways to correct not only our society's norms, but also help close the wage gap. One way to correct the predetermined jobs that society feels are acceptable for women is education and ensuring that men and women both know that a woman can succeed in any job just like men. Knowledge and awareness are extremely important to helping end this issue, so as college students, it is vital that we keep ourselves aware of pay inequality and actively work to ensure we do not allow this cycle to continue.
And again, I think this generation can be a voice to say, we're not going to stand for this.